All right, folks, we are here in mid-July and we're at the Willow Creek, Alaska State Recreation Area. We're going to do a walkthrough of the campground. It's actually pretty empty right now. It's a Monday, so it should be pretty easy walkthrough. I like this spot. It's a good spot, especially if you're coming down here for some fishing. But we'll do a quick walkthrough and let me know what you think. All right, so here we are, and one of the things is this is only about 20-30 minutes north of Wasilla. And so there actually is a few more, a little bit more technologically advanced. This does actually have a credit card machine. So if you didn't bring any cash, you can swipe your credit card, choose your site. Like all Alaska state parks, you have about 30 minutes to choose your site and come back and pay the fee. If you don't have a credit card, if you don't want to use the credit card, there is, of course, the old style fee envelope. So you can, drop your cash in there. Put it in the box and you'll be good to go. Okay. Again, this is an Alaska State Park, so Alaska State rules apply. There is a raft takeout boat launch. We'll take a look at that. Camping's $20 a site, and if you're going to use the raft boat launch, it's about $10. You're not going to be launching a big boat out of here. We'll take a look at that here in a minute, but it is $10 to launch it. And then, of course, there's your normal be bear aware. Here at the Willow Creek Campground, a little poster for rules for the wildlife. So take a look at that. Quiet hours are enforced, 11 p.m. to 6 a.m. Okay, and there is a site host who will enforce that. I haven't met them, but they are here. So we'll go ahead and take a walk, and we'll look down here. It's actually quite a little bit of a drive down the road, about 2-3 miles down the road off the highway. Okay, as you come in, and this is the campground side, not the day use side. We're looking at the campground side. Off to the right is the host. Okay, from what I can tell, there's nowhere to make reservations for this site. You just show up and pick an empty site. And so you don't need to really check in with the host, but there is a host over there. Okay, and there is water here. If you've been following this channel or been camping in Alaska, the Alaska campgrounds like these manual machines. So you just come in, give it a few pumps. Okay. And if you do that while you're not videotaping, you'll get a little water out of that. Okay. They do have the standard disclaimer. It's provided for your convenience. It's a well, so that might not meet drinking water standards. So if you're sensitive to water or you want to just be extra careful, then by all means boil the water before you use it for cooking or drinking or anything like that. But there is water here. Okay. Now, as you come around past the host, you get into the actual campsites, and this is what I call parking lot campsites. Okay, they're not individual, secluded pull-ins, if you will. It's basically a parking lot. And let's go ahead and go look at one of them over here. Each site is two. Each site is actually two parking spots. So if you rent this spot, for example, I can't see the number on this. Here we go. They are up here. Okay, so see, this is site number 1, and the parking spot next to it is also site number 1. So these two parking spots are a site. So you could park your RV here, put out your awning, set up your camp here, and plenty of space. But it is parking lots, so you don't have privacy. Okay, and then every 2 spaces has their own picnic table and their own fire ring. Okay, this is fairly close to Wasilla. It's a fairly popular campsite, so don't count on being able to scrounge any firewood. Bring your own. You can't have any fire outside the fire ring, of course, but I wouldn't say that there's a whole bunch of scroungeable firewood here. So bring your own firewood. But the fire rings are, in reasonable condition, so you'll be able to have yourself a campfire for the kids. I did walk past it, but on the other side, next to the water, there is a dumpster, and there's a few dumpsters throughout the site, as well as you can see up here. There is a latrine style, a vault style latrine. Okay, reasonably clean, in decent condition, so nothing I'd be afraid to use. Like any time else, go ahead and bring your own TP. There's no guarantee that what is in there is actually stocked, but so far it's in pretty good shape. Okay, now we're in kind of a lull here. This campground actually is pretty well known for king fishing, but the king fishing run is over. The Susitna River and Willow is sitting here on, it has a king run, it has a red run, pink and chum, but the pink run hasn't really gotten going, so that's why it's not really all that full right now. Matter of fact, it's quite empty. Okay, so there's a bit of a lull here where it's after the king season, and then the silvers haven't started really running yet, so it's going to be a little empty. I'm going to go down here to the side. Actually, no, there's a path there, but let's walk through here. So we just walked through the first section of parking. Okay, this is the second section of parking. Okay, and the second section has the boat or ramp launch. So let's go take a look at that. Again, you're not going to be launching great big river boats off this thing. Okay, matter of fact, you aren't really going to even be pulling down to launch it. It's kind of more personal boats, like rafts. And it looks like there's some people fishing down here, so I'll not interfere with them. Oh, they got a boat going by. Right. It looks like they're pulling out here. Okay, so I'll go ahead and give them their privacy, and we'll take a look at the boat launch a little bit later. But I did want to walk down to the main entrance. Okay, we'll check out that boat launch later when those folks are done using it. People get a little bit self-conscious if you walk down videotaping what they're doing, so I'm going to be polite. Okay, there's like 133 parking spots here, so there is nothing to worry about getting a place to park. Okay, here in the other, there's another vault toilet back over in there. Won't go look at it, but again, it's reasonably clean and good shape. Let's walk down over here. And again, got some folks here, so I'm not going to talk over them. Alright, so you come around here to the back side, and this is where the road kind of turns around and starts heading back out. And this is your main path down to the Susitna. We'll go walk down there. So if you're thinking about coming down here to go fishing, this will give you a good idea of what to expect. It's actually very well maintained, gravel trails. And when you get down there, you'll see they actually have fishing platforms. Okay, so this is not wild Alaska fishing. This is a well-kept fishing park, if you will. Beautiful river. A little bit overcast. We've had a very cool and pretty wet summer here in Alaska this year, and so that's another one of these days, kind of getting this video in between the rain. As we're walking down, I will say, and you're up here by Willow. If you're not familiar, the mosquitoes here are horrendous. Now, I'm dosed up with bug dope pretty heavy, so that's why you're not hearing and seeing me swatting them. But cover up, even if it's a little bit warm. It's not warm today, but if it's a little bit warm, cover up, wear a hat, and make sure you have all your exposed skin dosed up, because the mosquitoes are heavy. And these are Alaskan mosquitoes, so they will take a chunk out of you. But as you can see, like I said, this is a gravel path down here. You can probably take an ATV. It's probably not legal to, but you're going to have no problems accessing this area. All right, so we'll come down here, and as we come up on the river here, you'll see there's a couple little benches, little information booth. We'll come down here and look at the river here. It's actually a gorgeous river. As much rain as we've been getting, it's not as high as I would have expected, but it is a bit higher. And like I said, we're kind of between runs here, so there's still fish. I've seen a couple people bring out a couple pink salmon. Okay, so the beginning of a pink run is starting, but this is an even year, so it's not going to be too heavy. And most people don't particularly like pinks. They get old quick, if you will. and a lot of people say that you're going to want to smoke them. Okay. I didn't know I was walking up on a guy there, so give him some space. Okay, but you're kind of in between runs. Few people out here catching pinks, and then the silvers haven't going, so it's a little quieter out here. Okay, up here on the right, we've got another Volt toilet. Again, decent enough shape. Right. And let's walk down here to the fishing platform. And if I just stop talking in the middle of this, it's because I'm walking up on somebody. You know, people are out here fishing, they're enjoying the wildlife. They don't need somebody with a camera sitting there talking in their ear. So if I just stop talking, it's because I'm coming up on somebody. I want to give them their respect, their privacy, respect their day. Okay. Oh, here we go. There's nobody out here. Yeah, you hear that woo in the background? I presume that means somebody caught a fish. Okay, so there are some people fishing here, and it's probably a pink. There's a red salmon run going on right now, but this isn't the easiest place to catch reds, except accidentally. Reds stop feeding when they come into the river for the most part. So. Hello. All right. Well, we're passing a couple groups of fishermen here. Had a family with a couple kids there that we just walked past. And again, I try not to put people on camera that haven't said they wanted to be on camera. Alright, so we come up over here, and this is the kind of where the mouth of the Willow joins the Susitna. There's a little information booth here, how to be safe, and a life jacket station. So if you bring your kids down here, I wouldn't recommend bringing your little kids down to this fishing section. You'll see why in a minute. I think there's people fishing there, so I don't want to talk while I'm down there. The Susitna isn't a wild and crazy river, at least not right here, but the fishing platform is right on the river, and you'll see that here in a minute. So I'm not bringing my little kids down here, but if you do, there is a free life jacket station. You can borrow one, put it on them while you take down there. Let's go ahead and walk down there. I'm not going to talk. There's people fishing. I'll just kind of see what they got going on down here. Any luck? No. Not a lot. Alright, so the fishing platform's actually pretty full right now. Not ridiculously full, but full enough, so I'm not going to walk down there too much. People are fishing, don't want to disturb them. But you can see it right there through the fence here. It's right on the river, so I wouldn't bring little kids down here. But it's not too bad. Okay, I asked that guy how he was doing there. I guess they're not doing too well. I've seen a couple fish come out, but nobody's reeling them in hand over hand quite yet. Now I'm not going to talk too much about the trails back in here. You know, it's kind of a maze of trails, but it's not huge. So, you know, if you turn left instead of right, you might not find one part of this, but it's not. You're not going to get lost down here. So, you know, just wander around till you find what you're looking for. Now, if you come back here, you'll find a little trail behind this latrine, and this will actually go down to Willow. And we're going to come up to that boat launch from the backside. Take a look at it. I haven't seen anyone fishing on the Willow itself. Now, I know you can. Fish go up there, salmon. For grayling and trout, I believe Willow Creek is catch and release only. So you can certainly catch some nice fish up there, but you have to be aware of the rules and regulations, which is true anywhere in Alaska. Be aware. Take a look at the regs of the river that you're on, or you're going to get yourself turned around. Okay, I do hear people talking down there, but I did pause for a second. You are in bear country here, so if you hear something crashing around, pay attention to what you're doing. There's moose, there's bear, there's people, all three of which you need to kind of keep an eye on where they are, and so you don't crowd them. All of them for the same reason. Neither of those three species like to be crowded. Okay. And like I said, I'm dosed up with mosquito dope pretty good, and even then they're trying to bite through my clothes, so use your skeeter dope. Wear some thick clothes, because their little beaks will go right through most of your clothes there. Got a little raft coming up the river. They're probably coming up to pull out. Again, this is Willow Creek. Willow Creek is not huge by any stretch of anyone's imagination. Okay. Most of the time these rafts are just using Willow to get in and out of the Susitna, kind of a protected in and out. But if you do have a little, little raft, make sure it's not too little. The Susitna is a big river, and you definitely want to be able to get yourself out if you get in. So don't take a little two-kid boat that you get at Fred Meyer or Costco out in it. It is a big river. It'll swallow that pretty quick if it needs to, especially if it's a little bit higher water. And we've come on a full loop. And this is the raft pullout. I mean, there's people using it, so I'm just going to give a look and then walk away. But here we go. This is a nice size raft to be having there. I wouldn't go much smaller. And then you got some folks pulling in there, so I'll go ahead and let them give them their space. But we're not talking about huge rafts here. Okay. So that raft there that they're using, that's I wouldn't go any smaller than that in there. No need to. All right, I wanted to come back down here when those little rafts were gone, so I can show you what they're doing here. Now they did pull a truck down here, so I guess it's no problem pulling a truck down here to load up your smallish boat. You saw just a couple minutes ago the size of raft they had, and that's probably about the right size for this spot. But they're gone now, so I wanted to walk down here and show you what you had to deal with in case you were thinking about bringing a boat down here. So it's just a little gravel and dirt, boat launch. Just back your boat up in here. And this is Willow Creek. It goes right up down there into Susitna right there. But this is a nice protected area you can launch a small boat off of. And people, I saw them coming down the creek, so they float down, go all the way down the Susitna, but they'll come back up, and you can just come right up to this gravel. Back your trailer up, yank it out of there. A little raft takeout sign, so you know exactly what you're talking about. But this is Willow Creek. A nice meandering little river, and again, the mosquitoes are just insane here. So there you go. But I wanted to show you that without the folks there, because I didn't really feel comfortable doing a bunch of talking and videography right next to them while they were getting out. They were fishing. I didn't see them. I didn't see any fish. They might have had some in a cooler, but I'm sure they had a good time. Again, like down by the fishing platform, if you have young kids, there's a whole bunch of Alaska State Park life jackets here you can let them borrow. Make sure you put it back so that the next people can have it. Okay, and then again, a couple more bear warning signs. Okay, so nice little place. Put in a drift boat, put in a little rubber raft, and that is it for that. Okay, and that's about it. I had to shut it off for a minute there. There's a bunch of cars and stuff pulling in, so I went ahead and shut it off, got past them, let them do their business. So we're back around to where we started. Okay, there's where we walked in, host site right there. Okay, and that's about it. It's actually a real comfortable campsite. There are no facilities here. There's no electricity at the sites, of course. There is no dump, but you're only about 30 minutes from Wasilla, maybe 25 minutes. So if before you come up here, swing into Wasilla, there's several places that you can do a sand dump there, and fill up your water, etc., before you come up here. So unless you're planning on staying up here for 2-3 weeks, which most people don't do that, you're close enough to Wasilla that you're not going to feel the need for to know where the nearest service is. Just be full and empty before you come on up. Okay, again, doggone, these skeeters are significant. If you bring your kids up here, and please do, we need more kids out in nature. But either dose them with skeeter dope, put a mosquito net on them. But they're actually pretty bad right now. So, and that's about it. That is the Wasilla Creek, Alaska State Recreation Area. Nice place, middle of June, very empty. $20 a night, just a basic campground. Hope to see you up here, and thank you for watching. Hit like if you want to see more of these. Thank you much.